one cheerful disposition would discourage it. Grief is abroad in the land over the death of Eleanor Roosevelt. And to her surviving 5 children, the sympathy of the world flows. Preceded in death by her mother-in-law and husband, Mrs. Franklin D. Roosevelt found an outlet for her abounding vitality and achievements for child betterment, the unfortunate, and causes lost and unpopular. It was greatly to her credit, after he was crippled by polio, that Franklin Delano Roosevelt took over the reins of government from Herbert Hoover, that in the White House she became the First Lady of the 32nd President of the United States. The beginning of a career that saw her become a dedicated citizen that caused many to describe her as the First Lady of the world. In the crisis-packed years of World War II, she accompanied her husband on many of his history-making missions, like this one to Quebec to meet the Churchills. She journeyed far and wide during the war to visit U.S. troops, as here in the South Pacific, and her popularity with the GIs was legendary. In April 1945, President Roosevelt died, and she returned for the burial at the Hyde Park, New York, ancestral acres he knew as a child, and to which he brought her as a bride. With widowhood, Mrs. Roosevelt's compassion for people brought her to Israel to encourage the children of the newborn nation. She became a symbol of independence and responsibility, and her efforts on behalf of universal human rights won her many awards overseas and at home. Among these was the coveted 4 Freedoms Award, an honor that recalls FDR's principles that held out new hope to people everywhere. President Truman named her a delegate to the United Nations General Assembly, and that world body became the enthusiasm of her final years. Asked what gave her the most satisfaction in life, she answered,
"Oh, I think serving with the United Nations, because you felt that you were part of the second effort to bring the peoples of the world together in an attempt to create a peaceful atmosphere."
A great American. We shall not soon see her like again.